Good morning and welcome to the April 8th session. Before we start our meeting, we always ask a local clergy. And today we're honored to have Doug Brown from Monterey Baptist Church back with us. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you all. It's been quite a while. I invite you all to join me in a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for all your many mercies. And we thank you in this context, particularly for your gift of government, that you've established government to uphold the sword of justice, to establish righteousness, to punish evil, uphold the good, protect the innocent, and to deal justly with citizens. And we thank you for the stability that it provides for our county, for our whole nation. We thank you for all those who serve. We ask your blessing on the county board of commissioners here and them and their families, along with all who serve in the fire departments and the police departments, who are riding the ambulances, who are fixing our roads, keeping the power on, keeping the water running, keeping the parks clean. Father, we thank you for all of the many seemingly uncountable graces we receive from you every day. We ask that you're with all those participating in this meeting, that truth, justice, and clarity are always reigning supreme in these meetings and in the governing of our county. We pray that you calm all hearts, that we realize at the end of the day we will all perish and stand before you, and allow that perspective to see what might seemingly be an enormous mountain here in this meeting. Allow that perspective to see how small the dealings in our politics really are in light of eternity, in light of our mortality. And Father, we thank you for the ultimate grace, which is your Son, Jesus Christ, that though we are mortal, though we have sinned and fall short of the glory of God and deserve death, Jesus Christ came to give us life. And we were reminded of that this past week with Resurrection Sunday. We know that he lived the perfect life we haven't and can't, and he died the death we deserve, and he rose from the dead, defeating sin and death and assuring salvation for all who believe. So we thank you for the grace that Christ earned for us that we can't earn for ourselves, which is reconciliation back to you. And we ask your blessing over this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you for coming today. Commissioner Corcoran, you want to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, to get this meeting started, first thing on is the approval of the regular session minutes of April 1st, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran. Yes. Commissioner Batch.
Yes. Next, we have a couple new employees. Yes.
Want me to go first?
Yes, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Andrew Mays, CTC. I'm here to introduce a new driver for CTC, Sheila Bell. Sheila came from seniors, and then prior to that, Sheila was an over-the-road driver. So Sheila has been to the West Coast many times and driven the big trucks, what I always thought was interesting, especially for such a petite woman such as she is. So, but she seen our buses and decided to give us a call, find out what it was all about. She liked what she heard. We liked what we heard, so Sheila joined her team. She's originally from Michigan, but fortunately for many of us, she's not a Michigan sports fan, and she likes the Bengals and the Cincinnati Reds. She currently lives in Milford. She's been married 11 years this time. She pointed that out to me. And she has one daughter and a 12-year-old granddaughter. And in her spare time, she likes doing crafting, such as making wreaths and Christmas trees and so forth. So, welcome, Sheila.
Welcome.
Welcome, Sheila. What did the front of that big rig say on it? What make?
Get out of my way.
That's what I thought. There you go. Like it.
Like it.
Which is what we're going to adopt for our buses.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Next, we have Chris Davis.
Morning, Board. Chris Davis, ISD Director. We're here to introduce Cheyenne Horton, our Executive Assistant. She's an Ohio resident since January of 2023, originally from Kentucky and raised in a military family. Cheyenne brings a warm, grounded perspective to everything she does. She's also the proud mother of 2 adult children, and she now enjoys a lively home with 3 beloved, and I'm pretty sure spoiled fur babies. So, outside of work, Cheyenne is passionate about singing, poetry, spending time with her family, especially her new role as a grandmother, which she absolutely cherishes. She's performed the national anthem at many events over the years and continues to share her talent whenever she's invited. Cheyenne describes herself as an empathetic, compassionate, and deeply committed to staying informed and involved in local issues that impact the community. And she looks forward to learning more about Clermont and the work here and contributing in meaningful and positive ways. So we're excited to have her as part of our team.
Good. Let's come up
Welcome.
front. David will want pictures.
Oh, wait a minute. Let Chris.
Let's find out.
He must have had that.
There is a memo.
All right. Everyone look right here. We'll go in 3, 2, 1.
One shot.
Wow.
That
must have been pretty darn good.
Thank
you so much. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes? Yeah.
Next, we have a proclamation. Bessie, you want to come up? Morning.
Good morning.
We have a proclamation today for, to recognize National Public Safety Telecommunicators. That'd be you, step right on up. This proclamation reads, whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require immediate police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of law enforcement officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel is critical to the protection of life and property, and whereas the safety of these responders is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who contact the Clermont County Communications Center, and whereas the public safety communicators of the Clermont County Communications Center serve as the first and most critical point of contact for citizens seeking emergency assistance through the 911 system, and whereas these highly trained professionals gather vital information, provide life-saving instructions, and coordinate the dispatch of law enforcement, fire, and emergency medical services throughout Clermont County, and whereas public safety communicators work diligently and professionally, often under demanding and stressful circumstances, while maintaining the calm, compassionate, and reassuring voices that guide citizens and responders through emergencies. And whereas the second full week of April is nationally recognized as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, honoring the individuals who dedicate their careers to safeguarding the lives and properties of others. Now therefore it be proclaimed that the Board of Clermont County Commissioners do hereby proclaim the week of April 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Clermont County, Ohio, and encourage all residents to recognize and thank the dedicated public safety communicators whose service, commitment, and professionalism help ensure the safety and well-being of our community. That was a long one, wasn't it? But we do thank you, and you had a good example of this with the lady that's, the young lady that was upside down in that. So what professional people we have, we're very fortunate we are paid. So I will present this to you on behalf of the commissioners, and it's signed by myself, Bonnie Batchelor, President, David Painter, Vice President, Third Cortland. I hate saying it. She's a member. No, we're all the same. But that's the way this.
I don't care about titles, you know that.
I don't either. That's
Not
why I
important.
didn't even say that. But thank you for coming. Would you like to say a few words, Jessie?
Sure. So today I brought Jessie Box. She's a program administrator. She was a dispatcher with us for 9 years. Now she's a program administrator. And Heather Goslin, who's been with us for over 10 years. And thank you, board, for recognizing dispatchers. I often say it's a very forgotten job, and
Until you need you.
until they're needed. And thankfully, the board has done amazing of recognizing recently Stacy Davidson, who helped a young lady who had overturned her vehicle into a creek. And that's not the only story we have. I come back next week and I have many more stories to share, good things. I'm just always proud of my crew. They work hard, long hours, stressful environment, and they come back every day and keep doing what they're doing. So thank you very much for recognizing them.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming with us.
Go in. 2, 1. Thank you.
He's getting better. He's only doing one picture today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for doing 10 years, huh?
14 and a half.
You're on your way to the forward.
No, thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Stick with us.
Thank you.
Rolling today, aren't we?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Next is item D, and that is a certificate of recognition. And Commissioner Painter is going to present this one.
So Debbie Hines and Bill DeHaan, you can come up, please. Every once in a while, you get to talk to somebody that goes above and beyond what they do. And Debbie is a prime example of that. We're pleased to share with her. She's been selected to receive the Honorable Thomas A. Swift Collaborative Leadership Award recognition for her outstanding work for community advocacy and protection for seniors. She will be honored at the 41st Annual OCAPS Conference on March 27th in Columbus, Ohio. Debbie, on behalf of the Clermont County Commissioners, congratulations on receiving the Honorable Thomas A. Swift Collaborative Leadership Award. Thank you for your exceptional work in community advocacy protection for seniors, for your unwavering commitment to making a meaningful, lasting impact on senior citizens of Clermont County. And it's signed by the Board President, Bonnie Batchelor, Vice President, myself, and Commissioner Batchelor. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for advocating for seniors. There couldn't be any more honorable work that you can do. And thanks for being selected for this award. Thank you so much. If I were George, if you want to say a few words.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the recognition. And, serving seniors is my passion. I've been with Clermont Senior Services for almost 11 years. And I have worked with seniors pretty much my entire life, but just enjoy giving and serving, advocating, and helping in any way. And through the I-Team, which is the CAPS team, Community Advocacy and Protection for Seniors, which quite a few of our agencies in Clermont County belong to and have since it started in 2015. They support and are committed to and help make this team what it is so that we can raise awareness of elder abuse in Clermont County and help our seniors in any way we can. Thank you.
Bill, a few words?
Yeah, quickly.
One, I just want to say thank you to the commissioners for recognizing Debbie for her outstanding work, because it is very well deserved. As Debbie said, she really implemented this program back in 2015 and built it from the ground up. And we have so many community partners that come to our meetings to listen to Debbie. Debbie provides education. So it really is about building awareness around elder abuse here in Clermont County and spreading the word so that we have more eyes in the community to watch out for our older adult population. And she plays a very large role in making that happen. And we're proud to be able to recognize her today and always. So thank you all for that.
Debbie, stay here. Take a picture with us.
My hair okay?
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Looks good.
I'll Photoshop it.
I mean, the part's a little off.
All right, we'll go in 3, 2, 1.
You're practicing your little one
I was
take
gonna
there.
ask for it over there, somebody-
Oh, let's hold the finger down.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, next is E, and we have a presentation today from Gary Knapp. He's going to give us an update on America 250. Favorite part.
Thank you, appreciate that. I owe an apology to all the ladies in the audience. I've let slip my mind that March was Women's History Month.
Yes.
So I'm going to try to make a difference today by focusing in on one lady from North Richmond, Dave, your stomping area. And here's a picture of her. It's Elizabeth Archard Connor. She was born in January of 1838 in New Richmond. Went to school at the esteemed academy, at the Parker Academy, or the Clermont Academy. And at the time, she was very precocious, rambunctious, to the point that they kicked her out of school because they can't control her behavior, which I think was a foreshadowing of her future for this young lady as she grew up. She received her bachelor's degree from Antioch College in Yellow Springs, and then a master's degree from the same institution, and was the first woman to have received a master's degree at Antioch. Her first job was teaching Latin and Greek, or Latin and German, at a private school in Indianapolis. She found out that they were not paying women the equal amount of pay that they were the men. So she complained about it, and they changed. And everybody, all the female since, were receiving equal pay. This was back before the Civil War. It was quite a statement. She left teaching to start writing, and she worked for the Cincinnati Commercial. Her byline was EA, as in Elizabeth Archard. And the reason I think she did that was because she wanted to escape the gender bias that was going on at that time. And she also wrote under the name of Zig, which is most of the articles that she also wrote for the Saturday Evening Post. Her area of expertise in this period of time was about the Civil War, but it was not the traditional Civil War coverage. It was basically a woman's view of what the Civil War was going on, the impact that it had on the family. And I remember reading one of the articles. It was about, she was interviewed a few of the women who husbands were killed in the Civil War and the financial difficulties that laid upon them, because at that time there was not a pension. And so that income that they were receiving was gone and not to be replaced. Hopefully the family or church took up the difference. But they did not receive, the average soldier received about $11 per month. It was the pay for Civil War soldiers. So it wasn't much that she lost, but it was enough to cause problems. Her editor, boss, was going to move after the Civil War to New York, and she followed him there. And at the time, the gold rush in the Klondike area of Canada was ongoing. And so she decided that she wanted to cover that big story. Okay. This is known as the Stairway to Heaven. It was 1,500 steps on the way from the bottom of the Chilkoot Pass up to the area where the river would come out. So what they had to do is the Stampeders, there was 100,000 of them that went up to Canada. They got off the boat at Skagway, began hiking and up to the gold fields. And the Canadian police required that the miners carry 100% of what they expected to use in 1 year's time. They had to carry it up. The horses couldn't carry up that far. So they were by themselves, men lugged this stuff all the way up to the top, 1,500 feet. Then they had to go down to the Yukon River, which was a deadly whitewater stream. And a number of the guys died in crashes because they didn't understand how to do it. But luckily, that they found a pilot to be able to go through. They were able to do that. And one of the what became more famous was Jack London, who wrote Call of the Wild. And he received most of his inspiration and information from that was received at the time that he was a pilot. He grew up in Oakland, so he could go down the river easily enough. And so he was able to do it. So this was the atmosphere that Elizabeth Archard Connor, later become Connor, undertook to cover this story. Not needless to say that there were murders, robberies, assaults constantly at the place where she was at. The temperature dropped to about 80 degrees below zero in cases. They lived in tents, if you can imagine such a thing, or little huts that were miasma of things that were going on, the bad air for to live in. And this is what she was probably one of the few women in this area who was not a bartender, washerwoman, or prostitute. And that was the basic the flavor that she covered this. And so if you go back to Elizabeth, I think I was not able to really uncover too many articles about what she wrote. It's a project that I'm undertaking now to get that, but it was quite an accomplishment, and she was well recognized for her gritty observation and writing about what was going on in the gold rush during that period of time. So she wanted, when her duties were done, her next plan was to travel to Japan and visit Japan. While she was off, the boat was off the coast of Japan, a horrible typhoon blew her back to near the Philippines. She broke her arm in the wreck. And so she was going to rest up in the Philippines before she came back. And just at that time, war broke out in the Philippines between the U.S. and the Filipino insurrectionists. And she was in the middle of that, Melu, and started covering the war and became the first known female war correspondent. Some of her articles were described by the men who were there at the time of the fighting as the most accurate and best observation of the war that had been undertaken at that point in time. And she was right up on the front. She wasn't writing from the hotel. She was right from the front. After she made it back, she became more involved in other things. In the newspaper world, she became the first female editor of the AP, Associated Press, and she became very involved in the suffragette movement. She was right up there with some of her colleagues, such as Julia Ward Howe, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and Susan B. Anthony, And she was kind of a second tier speaker, but she was very much involved in it. A current biographer said of her that she was tough, highly opinionated, and radical. She predicted that women would get the right to vote, and she said, quote, "All the stogies in the world can't prevent it. It will happen." And unfortunately, she did not live to see it happen. She died in 1912, 7 years before the passage of the 19th Amendment. But nevertheless, she was one of the early and very forthright advocates of that social work. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to tell that story. And I have one more story about a woman from Clermont County, but I will wait. And I will wait until the end of till next week or next month or so. And it was a very fascinating story about a woman from Elizabeth Archard Connor. Connor was her married name, and she left her husband and a child at home to go to work in New York. So again, that's pretty much never heard of before very often in that time frame.
Great info.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
much.
And next, we have Josh Knapp. Turback, I'm sorry, Director of the Clermont County Park District. Sorry, Josh, I gave you a new name.
It's okay. Thank you, board, for giving me some of your time today. Last night, my 10-year-old daughter gave me a little pep talk. She said, "Dad, you're boring. Don't talk too much." So I'm going to take that to heart and be as I can. So 2016, Clermont County community supported the Park District's very first park levy. It was a 10-year park levy, and we're going for renewal this spring, May 5th. For those of you who don't know, it's a 0.5 mil levy. What does that mean? It basically equates to about $11 a year for every $100,000 of auditor appraised value of your home. So if you have $300,000 appraised home, you're talking about $33 a year, which is a little less than $3 a month. What do these funds be, or what are they used for? What do we use them for? It helps keep entry into the parks free. It keeps our programs and events, almost all of them are free. If there's a cost, it's a very minimal cost. But it also goes towards the daily operations, from paying staff to mowing the grass, cleaning the restrooms. It goes towards our capital projects. So the sun deck down at Sycamore is paid with capital funds through the levy. It also gives us the ability to leverage to apply for grants. So the suspension bridge that we just built in Wilson Nature Preserve, we got a very large grant for that. However, it wouldn't have been possible if we weren't able to put some skin in the game, as to speak, as far as throwing some matching funds in there. So we used it to build shelters, and Chris Klingman, who was on before me, did a great job of rehabbing the restroom facilities, updating all the playgrounds, and kind of getting the park where they needed to be. A couple of things you might not know about what the park levy does is we have a community grant program where we offer grants to other jurisdictions, whether they're townships, villages, or cities. We do it every year. We give out about $100,000, usually a little bit more, to communities, and we've been doing that for 10 years. That was a part of the levy promise. So I have a board meeting after this meeting where our board will approve the final 10 years worth of projects, which will equate to about 100 projects and over $1 million worth of funding for those townships, villages, and cities. We've done amazing projects with them. It's been great to see. Some communities wouldn't be able to do projects without this funding, and some we're just putting them over the top as far as being able to get these projects done. I talked about leveraging grants over the last 10 years. We've been able to leverage about $5.5 million worth of grants for various capital projects and property acquisition. The levy also gives us the ability to acquire new land or adjacent land to properties we currently own. So it's very important. I have a list there. I try to keep everything on one page. Looking at it right now, it's very tiny. Believe me, it's impressive. You'd be very impressed with everything that's on that list. But we've been able to build playgrounds, restrooms, additional property. If you haven't seen the suspension bridge, we'll be doing a ribbon cutting on May 1st at 2 o'clock. And you also get an opportunity to see the new sun deck at Sycamore. Last couple of years, we built a new shelter at Catherine Staggy Mar in Goshen that was destroyed by the tornado, and we've been able to do some improvements up there. We've added 4 properties since the last levy: 10 Mile Nature Preserve, Clermont Park, which is our new home for our admin offices. If you haven't been there, we've just installed 3 miles of trails, and then we're looking to continue to develop that property into the future. We took over Catherine Staggy Mar in Goshen, and then we were able to get grants to purchase over 120 acres about a mile outside of downtown Loveland, and we're getting ready to go out to bid to develop that park. It's getting a lot of recognition for the design of it, so we're pretty excited about it. I'm going to get more excited once I open the bids and see where they fall. But it's the levy that's really given us the opportunity to do all this. You got the next page. The next page is just what we have kind of planned for the next 10 years. Again, writing's a little small, but you can call me. We got the information out there. How did we come up with these projects? A couple years ago, we did our very first community master plan that the organization's ever done. And part of that was getting feedback from the community. Through that process, we got about 1,500 responses through surveys. And that was kind of our directing us where the public wanted to see us go as far as projects, things they wanted to see us do. Just real quick off of that, trails and access to water were by far the two most important things to the people that responded to that survey. Whether it was extension of the bike trail, new hiking trails, extension of hiking trails, access to waterways, kayaking, canoeing, fishing. So we're making that a priority moving forward. The sun deck was part of that initiative because people would go to Sycamore and they'd ask us where, they want to sit by the river. They want to just, they want to pull out and have somewhere to congregate. So the sun deck was just an example of us taking what the public said and building structure to meet those needs. So we've got a long list of stuff that we put together. This isn't all we'll be doing. This is just projects that we've highlighted and started to work towards as far as planning, getting the budgets together, funding, and knowing what we're capable of doing. There's certainly other things that'll go on. There'll be grant opportunities that we'll apply for. We just applied for adding a mountain bike skills loop at Clermont Park, which we think will be a great addition. But we're trying to meet the needs and doing some cool projects. We like doing cool projects, so we'll continue to try to do that for the community. That is everything in a nutshell that I have. I don't know if commissioners have any questions for me or.
Josh, I see on here where you're going to do some renovations down at the Shiloh Lock Museum.
Yes.
If anyone here has never been down to that park, it is really, really something to see.
So we worked with a firm to kind of reimagine some of the museum down there. The museum is great. Chris Clermont got a large grant years ago to renovate the building. It's right down on the river. It's an old lock and dam. It's turned into a river museum. Its opening weekend is this weekend. It's free to get in, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful area down there. It's right along the river. It's a great place just to really go and sit and watch the river. But one thing we've heard is the community kind of wants a place to gather down there. So we're going to try to do some renovations to the first floor and then add an outdoor area that overlooks the river.
That would be nice.
And then we've heard camping. People want more camping. So we're looking at the possibility of adding some camping sites down there just for the public. It would be a great place to spend a weekend. So those are two things that are on the list of opportunities we'd like to add down there.
Good.
Thank you. The park.
Tell your daughter you were not boring.
She will not listen to you.
We'll call her.
She's pretty set in her ways. She's smart.
How old is she?
She's 10.
Yep.
She's the middle of 4.
4 girls.
3 girls and an animal.
And
Feral.
an animal. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
Oh, that's funny. Next is public participation. And before anyone comes up, as you know, during this time, the board does not answer questions nor engage in a debate. The commissioners are not expected to comment on matters, but if we want, we can. And in accordance with the board's rules, you have 5 minutes, please. State your name and address.
My name is Jen Mazzucchelli, and I live in Union Township, Fort Mount Carmel. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, I might run out of time, so maybe the only thing I'm going to talk about, according to the Ohio National Domestic Violence Network, April is Alcohol Awareness Month. And the reason why they called attention to that is because, and I'm sure you know as well, alcohol makes domestic violence worse. And as I've mentioned before, what we saw during COVID is that alcohol or substance abuse instances increased and domestic violence increased as well. So my personal experience was that my husband was always coercive and controlling. So there was verbal abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse. But once he relapsed and started abusing substances and drinking again, he was worse. And that's when life became dangerous for my children and I. So again, we have a domestic violence shelter with 15 beds that serves 3 counties. And one of the first things this administration did was close the Department of Justice's Office of Violence Against Women, and DOJ froze all funding that went to organizations that support violence against women. So they're going to need extra support. And this county, well, I was just in Hocking County on Monday, and I was talking to somebody who is on the board of their substance abuse committee, and she said they're already seeing substance abuse increases. What is our plan? We have to have some kind of support for people with substance abuse problems beyond CRC, because that is not a residential treatment center. And we don't have public residential treatment centers. And I think that that's needed, at least something that accepts Medicaid, not these private ones where, you know, they're luxury treatment centers and you have to pay out the wazoo for it. And then there's no support after you get out in 30 days or whatever. The second thing I wanted to talk about is just to implore you guys to utilize your personal resources, personal relationships. The president has put out some unhinged stuff. And when he declared that we were going to wipe out the entire civilization of Iran and the surrounding cities, that we're going to blow up their bridges and their infrastructure, the desalination plants, the electricity grids, those are war crimes. The United States of America is rapidly losing its moral ground. Any moral ground we ever had is gone. And even retired generals are speaking out and saying this is a war crime. There's new reporting out that says that every single advisor to the president said, do not go to war with Iran. This is a bad idea. Bad things will happen. And the only person in the room, in the sit room he listened to, was Bibi Netanyahu. And I don't even know why a foreign dignitary is in our United States Situation Room. But we're taking advice from a warmonger and committing war crimes. It's a problem. And we cannot get a hold of our elected representatives to tell them what we want to hear. But you guys have direct access to all of them. I mean, I'm sure you had a very good conversation with Mr. Taylor, Congressman Taylor, after he left last week. Maybe you had a meal or something. I don't know. But you guys have relationships with all of our representatives, and they will not pick up their phones to talk to us. They will not have town hall meetings to talk to us. They do not care what we think, but they care what you think. So please implore them to take a stand against this, because nobody, except for a small fraction of the country, wants to go to war with Iran. And when we say we're going to carpet bomb the entire country, that is a declaration of war. So whether Congress is doing its job and saying, oh no, we're not at war yet, you have to rein yourself back, or yes, we are at war. We're at war. We're at war with Iran, and it will not go down well. It will go down ugly. That's all.
Anyone else?
Thanks. Thank you for this chance to speak. Kevin Bruce from Union Township. I would say thank you, Jen. That it's important that we consider the big picture, and I'm paying at the pump, but I'm much more concerned about little children being exterminated for political purposes. And we're at the moment now where fertilizer will not be reaching farmers at planting season around the world. And we're going to see famine like never before, I think. I hope not. I pray not. I want to bring today some thoughts from another president, George W. Bush. Responding to a request, there's a group called In Pursuit. It's a bipartisan group trying to get statements by presidents about presidents and how they did what they did. So on President's Day, George W. Bush said about George Washington, the question we must all ask is, how did he accomplish all these? I'm giving you my extracts here. By most historian accounts, one of the reasons Washington achieved all this was by admitting he might not be up to the task. He summoned experts and let debates play out in front of him. We're doing that here. For me, that lesson meant recognizing what I didn't know as president, surrounding myself with advisors who did know what I didn't know, and listening to them. Like all presidents, Washington had his faults. He made tactical errors, especially early in his military career. And but worst of all, as were so many of his generation, he was a lifelong slave owner who never publicly condemned the institution. His views did evolve over time. He expressed private misgivings. It's been said he made his most public anti-slavery statement after his death by freeing the slaves he owned in his will, which is more than most people of his generation, including Jefferson, did. Still, slavery is a stain on an otherwise sterling private and public life. But Washington, like all of us, should be taken in the totality of his acts and of his life and his times. By that standard, his life was exceptional. The founding generation considered him to be the indispensable man. Without him, there'd be no America. And without America, the world would be a very different and possibly much darker place. As America's first president, Washington knew the first of everything in our situation will serve to establish a precedent. So after 2 terms in office, with a distrust of long-seated rulers still fresh on America's soul, and he was not an American citizen when he came here, when he was born here. Washington chose not to run again for president, and by once again relinquishing power rather than holding on to it, he ensured America wouldn't become a monarchy or worse. Our first leader helped define not only the character of the presidency, but the character of the country. Washington modeled what it means to put the good of the nation over self-interest and selfish ambition. He embodied integrity and modeled why it's worth aspiring to, and he carried himself with dignity and self-restraint, honoring the office without allowing it to become invested with near mythical powers. I often say that the office of the president is more important than the occupant, that the institution of the presidency gives ballast to our ship of state. For that stability, we are indebted to the wisdom of our founding fathers' governing charter and the humility of our nation's first president. It has guided us for 250 years, and it will strengthen us for our next 250 years. And I'm going to take time next chance I get to read parts of Washington's farewell address, where he condemned the formation of political parties as they had done in Europe to the detriment of the people and the nations in Europe. And we're right in the middle of that, I could say. And thank you for this chance.
Anyone else? No one else? Okay. We will move on then to item G, consent agenda. Board, we've had this in time to review. Do I have a motion to approve as presented to us?
Make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Moving on to item H, and that is the non-consent agenda. First, item 6. It is a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt resolution number 052-26 to approve payment to vendors in the total amount of $4,334,684.80 as outlined in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated April 8th, 2026. BCC directed prepaid invoices reports and procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on April 6, 2026, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants pursuant to and in compliance with section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Dick, Department of Job and Family Services. Item number 7 is a recommendation to authorize Dorothy Meyer, Director of the Clermont County Job and Family Services, to submit the Joe Burrow Foundation Do Good Grant application. And this is for funding in the amount of $10,000 with no local match required. And it's relative to the food insecurity and mental health initiatives targeting older at-risk youth and independent living, emancipated young adults, and low-income families in emergencies. And this is from the period of May 1st, 2026 through April 30th, 2029.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 7. Do I have a motion to approve?
I will make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Number 8.
Item 8 is also a recommendation to authorize Dorothy Myers, Director of Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, to execute all documents regarding participation in the Ohio Department of Administrative Services Cost Per Copy Program, to include program participation documents, which includes a cost per copy equipment request form for the provision of printer devices and copier services at the County Medical Social Services Building located at 2400 Clermont Center Drive in Batavia, for a term of 5 years for each copier, printer, or other electronic device utilizing the Department of Administrative Services Cost Per Copy Program.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 8. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes. Thank you. Good morning, Lyle.
Item 9 is recommendation to accept the contract between Clermont County and W.E. Smith Construction out of Blanchester, Ohio, relative to the 2023 landslide project number LS-09-23, located in various townships, as complete as of May 13th, 2025, and to authorize payment number 5, which is the final and represents the release of retainage in the amount of $23,676.39 plus any accrued interest.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 9. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Item 10 is a recommendation to approve the request to advertise for bids for project number TA-15-24 relative to the Spring Grove Road Bridge rehabilitation located in Tate Township pursuant to the plans and specifications, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation on April 16, 2026, with bids to be received from 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, April 30th, 2026, using the Bid Express service at www.bidexpress.com. And this notice will also be posted on the county's website. And the engineer's estimate for this project is $548,490.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 10. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Morning.
Morning, Joel.
Commissioners. Item number 11 is a recommendation to acknowledge the submission and receipt of funds through the Grant Award for Source Water Protection Strategies from the Ohio EPA Division of Drinking and Groundwaters, an amount not to exceed $13,835 with no local match required to assist with purchasing and implementation of source water protection strategies for the Clermont County Water Resources Department, and further to authorize Joel Gross, Director, Clermont County Water Resources, to execute the grant agreement.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 11. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. Just want to say kudos to Seth Buckholtz and Tim Nyer from my shop for putting that together and applying for those grant funds. It'll be put to good use at BMW.
Good.
Very nice.
Awesome. Item number 12 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 053-26 to determine to make improvements for the construction, operation, and maintenance of the Buckwheat Road Water Service Transfers Project located in Miami Township, as outlined in Exhibit A and designated as project number 6401-60270, in conformance with the detailed plans, specifications, and estimate of costs and financing, and to approve the request to advertise for bids for the project number 6401-60270 pursuant to the plans and specifications, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in the newspaper of general circulation on Thursday, April 16th, 2026, scheduling a non-mandatory pre-bid meeting on Thursday, April 30th, 2026 at 1 p.m., with bids to be received until 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, May 14th, 2026, in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, located at 101 East Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, where they will be publicly opened and read aloud. This notice will be posted on Clermont County's homepage under legal notices at the following link, www.clermontcountyohio.gov.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Joe.
Up next is Desmond, item number 12.
Or 13.
I'm sorry, 13.
Perfect, all right.
And while we're waiting, Joel, thank you to your staff for putting up all the banners. They did a wonderful job for the American 250. Thank them for us.
Pass that along to Commissioner.
Thank you.
Couple items.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
My favorite topic.
That's right. Good morning, Commissioners. Item
Morning.
13 is recommendation to execute 3 agreements between the Board of County Commissioners and Veterans Village CHC LLC for funding with the Home Investment Partnership Program, HOME Program, for fiscal years 2023 and 2024 in compliance with the terms and conditions of the agreements outlined and contingent upon the receipt of the required purchase order. So the 3 documents, the 3 agreements today are for the Veterans Village project. All 3 have a contract term of 4/8/2026 through 4/8/2046. The subrecipients, Veterans Village CHC LLC, project name Veterans Village, and the 3 agreements are the Home Regulatory Agreement, the Home Project Commitment Agreement, and the Replacement Reserve Agreement. So this is for the Veterans Village project. It is underway now. The trees are coming down. Building permits have been submitted last month to our building department. Heath is working through those real well. They just actually emailed me a updated schedule while I was sitting here, so I don't have, I'll have more specifics, but it is starting in spring, we think within the next 2 weeks as far as site work. They're doing their construction loan closing tomorrow, and that's the developer's last large hurdle. So it's on track. These 3 agreements are for the $1,040,000 in home funds that the commissioners allocated to the project, which provides some necessary gap funding. So this is the commissioner's first use of these home funds. So it's a $10 million project. It provides 19 units. So very innovative project for veterans. So wonderful use of home funds that you guys have supported the project so well with.
I was up there over the weekend and they are really bringing the trees down,
Yes,
which is a good thing.
right.
Save some of them, please. Try and save some of them.
Yes, around the edges.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
tearing down just where the project. So I gave you the latest rendering. That's an
Right.
actual rendering of what it'll look like.
Great.
19 units. So that'll be 16 one-bedroom units as well as 3 two-bedroom units. Of course, the community clubhouse and Clermont Weather Center included because there's not one in Monroe Township.
Good. Good.
Naturally, the on-site clinical services will be provided by the VA to the veterans. And these agreements are for 20 years because this will keep the project affordable for a minimum of 20 years. That's how the home funds help this project. It ensures that this will be used for at least 20 years, but I understand Alicia would like to up that for another 20 years after that. So bid affordable units for at least 20 years with these agreements.
And hopefully we get to add to it.
That's right.
That's our
Exactly.
dream anyway.
Absolutely.
Okay, we didn't do roll call, did we?
No.
Okay.
We
We,
need a motion. We need a
Yep,
motion.
that's what I meant.
So moved.
Thank you, Dave.
I have a second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you, Desmond.
Thank you.
Item 14, Ralph.
Ralph Linney, Assistant County Administrator. Recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Boucher, President of the Board, to execute a change order to the contract for professional services with Garmin Miller and Associates Incorporated, previously approved and executed by the Board of County Commissioners on December 6, 2021, to add the design services required for the relocation of the current old fleet building generator to the existing service center building, which represents an increase in the amount of $7,500 for a total adjusted contract price in the amount of $1,875,165.45. Give you some background. The reason for this is the current Old Fleet Building generator provides backup power for the Filliger campus data system, which is also located in the Old Fleet Building. Because it is now necessary to demo that building as part of this Phase 2 project, it will be required to provide backup power to the service building where the data connections will be relocated. And this has to occur, obviously, before the demo of the Old Fleet Building. Also, because of this, the time period for receiving bids has been extended or will be extended by 2 weeks to April 23rd on 2026 at 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. We've had the reading of item number 14. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Good morning, board.
Morning, Angie.
Angie Levacy, Deputy Assistant County Administrator. Item 15 is the recommendation to authorize Bonnie J. Batchelor, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute a letter of intent to renew the contract with Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health Services for the operation of the Clermont County Community Alternative Sentencing Center, CASC, for the period of June 3rd, 2026 through June 2nd, 2027, pursuant to Section 3 of the Contract for Services ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on May 24th, 2023, which represents the third of 4 one-year renewal options, and to renew the relative lease agreement for the period of June 3rd, 2026 through June 2nd, 2027.
Thank you. Board, we've had the reading of item number 15. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you. Item I, do we have any additions to the agenda, Tom? Okay.
Before we go into executive session, are we going to talk about mental health and recovery?
I thought we would move item K up.
Yeah, we can do whatever the board desires.
Let's move item K up.
Okay.
And Ursula, Office Public Information, you're going to give us an update too.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Ursula Miller, Communications Coordinator. So it's actually happening. It's 2026, and Clermont County is getting in the spirit by hanging the first of a dozen banners on various buildings throughout the county. David's flashing up some photos showing you some of those locations. And this is to acknowledge America's 250th anniversary, obviously. In addition, we'll be installing some sun-activated lights that will shine red, white, and blue on some of the banners. I should say solar-activated. I'll be sharing the art file for the banner with a lot of our partners, our townships, villages, museums, library, the Clermont County Library System, and our county parks, in case they want to print something similar and hang it up on their buildings. And in addition, we're going to schedule group photos for all employees in the county to either be taken in front of a building with a banner or holding a banner. And we're going to use those and make a collage and share it with everybody, not just on social media, but even a hard copy.
And you're going to do a calendar and ask each leader to sign up and fill in so we know when we're going to have them outside and with the banner.
Try to schedule it, yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
In addition to the banners, the county is coordinating several other events that are coming up, and those plans are rapidly being finalized. The Student Art Show is going to be held at UC Clermont in May, starting May 4th. There'll be a public reception on Thursday, May 14th. And I just got that date actually last night from UC Clermont. And then the Great American Birthday Party and Art Show with the Senior Services Group. I don't know if he's still here. That's going to be Monday, June 15th. And we're going to have a color guard, some musical components to the event, cake and punch, and Senior Services and I are working collaboratively together to make that happen. So we're going to invite a wide variety of people too. So it should be a lot of fun. Word's been spreading. We had one quilt, now we have 4 quilts. In fact, the one story that you might like to hear is the daughter of the woman who quilted the bicentennial 1976 quilt heard about our event, and that quilt is also going to be on display along with our semi-quincentennial 250th quilt. So that's going to be pretty nice. And then the last thing that the county's coordinating, but not the last event that's happening in the county, but the last event the county's coordinating is the dedication of the Grant statue. And Kennedy Briggs with Economic Development will talk about those details later in the summer. But the expected date, we just got word this week, is going to be Friday, October 16th. So we have that date too. And then last, another relevant event that affects the commissioners and the judges in our county is Clermont County Library has reached out to schedule dates for the commissioners and the judges to be part of a community story time where you'll get the opportunity to read to children. And that'll be in late June and throughout July. And that's it.
Thank you.
That's it. It's a lot. It's a lot. Thank you, Ursula.
Mental Health and Recovery Board.
Yeah, we're going to have Emily Akers from the budget office first, just to
Okay.
review our settlement fund, so the board's aware of how much money.
So we know how much, yes.
Good morning, board.
Good morning,
Emily. And as Mr. Eigel said, I wanted just to give you a quick update on the opioid funding that the county has. So as of right now, we have approximately just right over $3.5 million available. We have not received any of our 26 projected settlement yet. So this year we are anticipating getting right over $600,000. And up to 2031, it's about $500,000 a year in projected settlement funds, maybe a little bit over, but around there. Then it does start to drop off. Our final year right now is 2038 of receiving funds. So through the 2031 mark, where it's $500,000, we anticipate we're going to have over $6.8 million. And then through 2038, we have $9.2 million. So as you're aware, the board did allocate $275,000 to CASC this year, and that is being accounted for in this, as well as $81,000 towards the MAT nurse at the jail. In regards to funding for the Crisis Receiving Center that the board has wanted to happen, I did a projection that if the board chose to allocate $1 million a year, just chose that number, we could do that through 2034. And then we do not have enough to do every year after that. If the board increased that to $1.3 million, there's enough funds to do that through 2031. And then, it varies each year according to what settlement is coming in. So that's really all I have, unless you have any questions on the funding.
Any questions, Commissioner?
In putting that in perspective, if the amount was more per year, obviously it would make it to 31. You would have some stop date there prior to it.
Correct. And those projections don't include funding CASC again or the MAT nurse. So if the board chooses to do that, that does affect the funding as well.
And that doesn't really affect the ability to gain more money through the One Ohio Foundation, which could happen.
Correct, absolutely. We did just have a settlement recently come through the board. The anticipated amount Jason Fountain gave me, after, we don't have the exact number yet, but $72,000 to $75,000. I have included that in here since that has gone through the board. But there could be more of those to come. But as of right now, there is not anything else.
Mm-hmm. But the center could also obtain reward from the 55% pool that involves our seven different counties.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that is just our direct.
Yeah, that's separate money. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And Commissioners, I want to introduce Ryan Spitzer. Ryan is going to just brief the board on a draft of the agreement and get some feedback from the board. And then Dr. Watson is also here. And so if there's any questions, I'm sure she'll be willing to answer those.
Morning, board.
Morning. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good to see you.
You as well. Ryan Spitzer with Isaac Wiles. As Mr. Eigel had indicated, he asked that we craft an initial draft of a grant agreement between mental health and the board. We have done so. Functionally, the way it's currently drafted doesn't mean it can't be changed, but it is drafted as a reimbursable grant agreement. And essentially what that means is Dr. Watson's crew would submit approved expenses through the board, and then the board would review and approve those. There is limitations on what can be used through the One Ohio Fund. It's fairly broad, but it's not everything. The current grant agreement is drafted through the end of 27 with the board's option for 2 additional one-year terms. And really, that's all I have, other than questions for the board to consider is, whether the board wants it to be reimbursable, or it could be a bulk annual distribution. The board could just by grant give them up to $1 million, up to 1.3, as Emily had stated. But then you've got the secondary problem, which Ms. Akers had gone through, of you've got 3.5 million on the front end, but those distributions tend to slow down as you get past 2030. Any questions for me? Anything that the board wants to see changed, modified, revised?
So just let me ask, once this money is actually awarded to them, it comes to them, what responsibility does the Board of Commissioners have for how it is spent? As long as, because we committed to do it in accordance with the agreement, they've committed to do it in accordance with the agreement, talk about that for a second.
Sure. Great question. Within the confines of limitations of liability and indemnification, as the board's aware, that's very narrow. And so functionally, you have received as the board the funds from One Ohio. You would be the entity most likely that would be liable if there were errors in gaps or funding or something went inappropriately. So
Right.
functionally, you're relying on that. You'd be the middleman, as long as mental health is using it as they're supposed to by the grant agreement, then there is no problem.
Right.
But to directly answer your question, the board is the one that has approved and agreed to the uses under the One Ohio Fund.
Right. And also in there for the crisis center, Dr. Watson has petitioned One Ohio and has had to qualify as far as the mission of that particular center to even receive the funds that she has to operate, so with that, there's pretty good assurance that everything that goes on in that facility is already really pre-approved by One Ohio in the agreement.
Yeah, I don't have all the intricacies. I would generally agree with that. The funding mechanisms through One Ohio are fairly broad for treatment-based solutions. Again, I'm not sure that means it covers everything, but for the most part, at a high level, it would cover those types of things.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh, it clearly states all the prohibited uses and, that we know the table organization, any of the changes and.
That's correct. So what we've done is we actually took the allowable services from the One Ohio grant and we just added it as an exhibit so that everything flowed through evenly. There are a limited number of prohibited uses. Again, I don't reasonably anticipate that we're going to run into that issue, but they are listed within the grant agreement.
And they're covered. Great.
The only last question I have is in a reimbursable contract, that would mean that she would actually spend the money up front and then she would ask for our reimbursement. Would that be correct?
That is the way it's currently written. Yes.
Okay. But it's not necessary to do that if we choose another vehicle for that.
Correct.
In other words, if it's in a bulk amount that's given, then
you could do it either way.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Guidance from the board on some of those provisions, whether it's the $1 million cap per year that we can draft and bring to the board next week.
I would myself, I would just default to Dr. Watson. I'd like to hear from her first before, I make any recommendation like that.
Sure.
That's okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, if I could, before Dr. Watson stops. Dr. Watson, you've been in attendance here this morning and you've heard some of the concerns by the citizens. And I just wanted to ask a question before we enter into this. You had heard that, obviously it's Domestic Violence Week and we understand that you're in this particular business. Residential treatment centers were talked about and obviously were needed. So I would ask you to kind of touch base on two of those things, because the comments that I heard was that maybe there are people who don't understand how much residential treatment is actually available, and what the Mental Health and Addiction Board can do for those who can't pay for that treatment themselves. So I just wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to make a very good clarifying statement about that.
Thank you for that. And I did actually provide her with my information so she could reach out to me.
And I saw that. And I have to say, I was observant about it. And one of the things was, I was like, I thank you for doing that. But one of the things that helps a whole lot is if the rest of the public gets to understand.
Right. Well, that is one of our roles in the community, is making sure that people understand all the resources that are out there. And you're right. I mean, unfortunately, people don't know what's available. And that's one of the great things I think that this crisis receiving center is going to offer our community, is a place where people, won't have to know all the resources that are out there. There's a one-stop shop where people can come 24/7 and have immediate access to services, and be able to get connected, to our publicly funded behavioral health system. But yes, there are services in our community that are available regardless of the ability to pay. There's mental health services, there's substance use services, there's services for children, for adults. And you can simply, call the Mental Health and Recovery Board to find out more information about that. You can call 988 to find out information about that, or our local crisis hotline, which is 528-SAVE. So don't ever think that you have to not get services because you can't afford it, because that's simply not true. Services are available, and that's part of what your tax dollars pay for, is making sure that services are there when you need them.
And we do have residential treatment available here in Clermont County. You might want to just talk about that a little bit.
Well, we don't have residential services available, unfortunately. We don't have the funding to be able to have it in our county, but we do have access to it. So what we do is we contract with providers in other counties to make sure that our residents that need residential services are able to go to another.
And there are some private entities within.
Yes.
the county, too.
Yes. So we do have a couple of facilities that do offer it, and they do take Medicaid, but we do not. The board does not have a facility that we operate here in the county. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I want to say thank you to the commissioners for supporting this receiving center. I mean, this is really going to be a game changer for our community. It's been a big gap that we've had for a long time, and I just can't tell you how thankful I am for this. It really is going to be a substantial change. So thank you. It's making me kind of emotional.
You bet. So one of the things we'd like to hear from you is, you've heard the limitations that could be placed on that money. And I need to ask you how that fits with your plan. I know you have planned this entire facility, and you know what it takes to operate, and you know, what is your need?
So you've heard me say, just first off, that our budget is a little bit higher than we anticipated. That's a little concerning for us. I mean, the 1 million would, we could figure out how to work with that. Frankly, it would be nicer if we could, instead of doing the reimbursement, if we could have the lump sum in the front loaded. I mean, that just would be a lot more helpful for us, particularly as we move forward. I mean, we're going to be running into some difficulties as we get closer into fiscal year 29. I mean, we've had some substantial cuts. We had about $1 million cut last year. We're looking at some cuts this year. And so we're going to be running out of our reserves by fiscal year 29. So it would be nice to have that money up front so that we're not, using up everything
And when you
on this
say-
receiving
when you say that
center.
money up front, are you talking about the 3.5? What is that number?
Well, even if you just gave us $1 million a year, that would be fine. Just, I mean, it's yes, $1 million a year up front versus us having to send you receipts, every month to be reimbursed.
So in other words, if we started this contract out at $1 million, the next year when you need it, and we continue at $1 million, is that sufficient for you to operate, or do you need 1.2 or 1.3? I mean, what do you need?
I mean, honestly, I would prefer the 1.3, but it's hard for me to say right now because we're not at the operating stage right now. I mean, we're working on the budget right now. But I would say 1.3. I mean, if I'm given the option, I would like.
What have you looked at as far as your operational budget?
So we are looking right now. We started originally thinking it was 1.7.
Okay.
And we are now looking at 2.3. So that's a substantial difference that is a little concerning. So yes, I would prefer the 1.3. If we can get the 1.3, that would be very helpful. Yeah.
Emily, what would 1.3 pull us back to as far as to the year?
2031.
2031? Okay.
And that would get us to, because, we could then go on the ballot in 2030 for an increase. I know that would be, not to put that out there, but, that would be helpful to help us support this facility.
No, and look, I mean, I would not make light of any situation by that. Obviously this is a gap that needs to be filled and protected. It is money that was made available. Keep in mind, the citizens of Clermont County didn't create an opiate epidemic. That's not who did that. Distributors and manufacturers did that.
Absolutely.
And they have paid dearly. And part of that has come to us. Obviously, we have never invested this kind of money into that fight, but that's where it needs to be. You know, obviously we were pushed back on when we sued the distributors, you know, and that has come out to be a righteous event. So, you know, if this money can be put to use for exactly what you're using it for, and it will prevent another generation from being impacted, you know, then that's exactly where it needs to be used. So, understood.
I absolutely agree, and thank you for that. And I think, you know, one of the most valuable lessons we learned from the opioid epidemic is that you have to have quick access to treatment to save people's lives. And that was a game changer for treatment, the whole behavioral health system worldwide, right? I mean, that changed how we provide treatment. The opioid epidemic did, and that's what this center will do, is provide that quick access. And that is crisis services is one of the areas that the opiate settlement money can fund. So
You might give the statistic on that. When we started with that, we were how high up the list? What were our numbers?
We were, yeah. I mean, the highest, we had 105 deaths a year, and we were number 4 in the nation per 100,000 for heroin deaths. Can you believe that?
And
Number
for
4.
quite some time, not for a short period of time.
It was from 2009 to 2013. Number 4. I mean, it's just shocking. And we had 14 deaths last year. So, I mean, we've done, I mean, this is what we did as a community, right? I mean, it working together, we did this to bring this down. But yes, so this is, I think, an excellent use of this funding. And, you know, that this is not just, you know, for the behavioral health system. This is for our community. And it's to make sure that people have, you know, access when they need it, immediate access.
So thanks.
Thank you.
Is any of the funding, and I know just generally the funding used to, as part of Family and Children First, part of money was going to that whole collaborative effort, and then it was cut. Can you explain why that there was like $50,000 a year that they were that went into the Family and Children First Council, which really feeds into a lot of these parents and the problems, et cetera. Is there any way of looking at that again? And
Are you asking about our contribution that we were
Yes.
providing this?
yes,
Well, that's complicated, but I can answer that.
I appreciate it.
So, yeah, so we were providing a contribution of 25,000, and we stopped doing that
and then 25.
2 years ago. And you'd like to know why we did that?
Yeah.
Okay. We did that because FCF had a reserve that we would have liked, that we
We can do it another, it's no big deal. I just wanted to.
Well,
know
I
if we
just,
could visit.
the FCF had a reserve that I would like to see them use
Okay.
towards treatment or providing services to families in the community. And so we developed a community to develop a plan for that to happen. And as soon as we, you know, develop a plan for that to happen, we can start providing funding again.
Okay.
I can talk more about that. with
That's
you
good, because I was just wondering
offline.
with what part of this money, because we're all in that same connect, everybody working together, and I'd like to see it all come back together, that we're also reaching that community. Because I think there's a lot of problems. It's not just the ones that we see, you know, single, it's a lot of it in the family and in those cases that they're handling.
It's a little bit more complicated than that. Maybe I could talk to you a little offline.
That's great.
I mean,
That's
the-
fine.
the-
I don't want to put you on, I'm putting you on the spot.
You are a
Sorry.
little bit.
That's fine. Sorry, go on, move forward.
I mean, remember too that we provide services to a lot of those children.
Yes.
And those parents.
And I think we're going to be
that-
bringing more back in too.
Yeah.
would
So,
be
I mean, we're a big partner in that.
Good.
And it's, you know, it's, we may not be contributing right now, but there's a lot of in kind that's going on behind the scenes.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I really appreciate your
Thank you.
support.
Thank you.
Commissioners,
now-
any further guidance on a couple of the questions about the reimbursable versus lump sum, and then just the general amount, or do you want to take it under consideration, have a discussion again?
I'm at 1.3 at lump sum. I don't want to be in the reimbursement business. I think Dr. Watson knows what needs to be done. And I think we've held on to this money way too long already that we haven't gotten it out to the community where it needed to be spent. Thank you. Thanks for all you do.
I'm in agreement with that.
Okay.
Good.
We'll draft agreement, get it back to the board.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Watts. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anything else, Mr. Argel?
No other staff discussion.
Okay. Then can we move on to item J?
And
Item J is I'm requesting an executive session pursuant to section 121.22G2 of the Ohio Revised Code to consider the purchase of property for public purposes if premature disclosure or information would give an unfair competitive or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
A second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, we will return. Go. We have returned from executive session. No decisions or actions were taken. At this time, we'll move on to item L, member comments. Anything, Commissioner?
Don't forget to vote.
Don't forget to vote.
Thank you.
Right.
Nothing else?
Yep.
Okay, item M, who wants to make it?
So moved.
I will second.
Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes, thank you for attending.